black Jesus and are programming them to come back into the black community, black societies, and help destroy it psychologically. Okay? Right now, there are black professors in Columbia that's affiliated with the new theater in Harlem called Mavis. Mavis is a new theater that teaches black history that some of us don't even know. Some black professors don't even know about. They show documentaries on different programs, and you can only be invited. It's owned by a professor from Columbia called Professor Dr. Mills, who originated out of Boston. Okay? So what I'm saying, these programs are also extended into Africa, which means the 400 years that we was exposed to psychological warfare and to destruction, denigration, and death. The brothers and sisters on the continent were taught the same thing. Okay? So, what they see us as, and I check this out because I travel through Africa extensively. My family is Barbadian, like the brother said. I checked out Barbadians and Nigerians. Part of the family is in South Carolina, Charleston. I went down to Charleston. I investigated it also. Also with Jamaicans, scattered through Jamaica from Africa, the Maroons. All right? So they did work on them and they work on us, our brothers and sisters on the continent. So when we're speaking of migrating back to these lands, we got to understand first how we want to establish who we are to the brothers and sisters. Because if you went back there right now, they don't want to deal with you. They tell you that you Yankee. They call you Yankee, matter of fact. You Yankee. You came here to help put us in slavery. You came here to take what we got. So what they do, they'll rob you. And they'll kill you. I had brothers that went back there with the same belief. And it was robbed and it was murdered. So we have to make preparations of how we want to approach this transition.
Your question.
Yes, brother.
I think there was a comment, so thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think we have one more question. We'll take two more questions. So one over here. And one next one. Okay, so.
Good evening, my name is Aminata, my African name. I have a question that's related to Africans in this landmass from ancient times. And I've been looking at some things about the Grand Canyon and the temples and things that supposedly are there. I wanted to get your response to that.
Well, there's a good book by a brother named David M. Hotep.
Oh, yes.
And you should look at David's research. David has a bibliography that's over 300 pieces of literature. And I think that research is called The First Americans Were Black, or The First Americans Were Africans. But LeRon Bennett, in his book, Shaping a Black America, from around 70-something, right? He has a chapter in there called The Red and the Black. And then you want to look at the work of Ivan Van Sertima. Now, what Bennett said in the chapter, The Red and the Black, in the book, The Shaping of Black America, and he showed documents that white folks says, they're all the same color. They're all brown and black. Let's just raid these villages and enslave all of them. And that's what they did for the most part. Some of us were able to be in what is called in South Carolina the Freewood, what you call the Maroon community. But most of us were enslaved, who was here when they got here. And we have amalgamated genetically as one people. There's no separate group of black folks over here and some separate group of black folks over there. That group who was here amalgamated much of the anthropology and archaeology of North America. And the reason you would think a rich country like this, with all of the research, you never see nothing on archaeology and anthropology of North America, because it all comes up black.
And the Grand Canyon, the physical nature of it.
Just one of the spots. Just look one of the spots. You could go just north of East St. Louis into Chicago, and there's miles and miles of fields of pyramids. They call it mounds, it's like 20-story tall, and they got the steps going up. It's a beautiful place. And they, even in the museum they built, they make the people all brown, but give them straight hair. So they know what they did. It's psychological warfare, like the brother's saying. But it is for us to do the research and study. Don't just read Michael Imhotep's book. Look at his bibliography. Read Ivan Ben Sedman's book. Look at his bibliography. And then you begin to do your own study and your own research. And then travel around the country. Go to the mounds of East St. Louis. Go to the mounds along the Mississippi River. In Mississippi especially, they have some amazing ones. Go to the Indian Museum. When I first came up here at 16 years old, I lived in that museum when it was on 155th Street. And they had these little miniature black native people that have been, they're not mine, they stopped them. They still got them. And then they moved the museum downtown yeah. And so we need to go visit that museum. They was hiding us in plain sight. And you'll see for yourself.
We'll have our final statements for almost down. Over here, one last question.
It goes back to the comment of the person before, that just spoke before. The thing is that there are 60 million African descendants. I call them descendants of Kemet because we carry the DNA all the way back. You can see it in our hair and our skin. 60 million people are not going to go back across the Atlantic Ocean and make a life. Now, there are key people who will and who can with the right intention. You got China taking it over the continent. There's so many different little things that impact on this whole reality. And they're also selling our melanin and putting that into chemicals to have clear skin for white women, to have no wrinkled skin. The point that I'm making is that we have work right here. And that work is, I like what Dr. Cruz had to say about we have to start right here. We have to improve. And so, to cut it short, I wrote a book, Activating Social Solutions. One of the things in there is that we have to use each and every geographic area in this country, and the people who live there decide on what needs to be done and do it. Okay? As change agents and social solutions. It takes work. Nobody paid anyone to work in the civil rights movement, nor Black Power, nor the Black Panthers. Nobody got paid. But there was a central need and motivation to make a change. So that's, I think, what we're going to, that's necessary in addition to, you know, changing and moving to Africa, but I think that's
And to comment on that, a lot of conversation around, as we know, Africa is the richest continent on earth, and clearly the Most High didn't plan for people on the continent to be impoverished, right? But what's happening is we're hearing a lot of people talk about China and Europe and other places going in. One of the reasons why we spoke about the Year of Return is we wanted to see if there was any interest actually coming from Black people, from people of African descent coming, because they are ready for business. And there are other Africans over there are willing to invest in businesses over here. So, in fact, the reconciliation is necessary, but you do hear a lot of the rhetoric of why are Europeans and Chinese and other Asians and Arabs going into Africa, taking over the land. It's time for us to do the same thing. All right, so we're going to have the last, any final statements that we want to make here? If not, I think that this has been an amazing conversation. Give it up
a lot of you, and I've read your book, and sometimes I'm feeding out of it. I did a radio show last night, and I must have been talking out of your book. I was talking about the very same subject. But having been involved in the process for more than 30 years, and having been involved, and that's on the continent for more than 40 years, but in this process of trying to deal with the return, we took the bodies back there from Jamaica and from here. There's a process simply for us to reach out and grab one another's hands. And I don't think they meant for all of us to jump on a plane and come home. They're saying, let's reconnect. We have last year, the African American community, the last 7 years, we spent $1 trillion a year plus with our enemies. We need to invest some of that money at home. We need to go home and learn. When we discuss this thing of culture and this conflict and the things we have in and out of our family, let's go home and learn the fine art of principles and concepts that's in our culture. Real quick, I just got to drop this one, but I drop everywhere because Oya is my mother. And so Oya means change. We call her the wind. But change marries two men. In fact, it's polyandry. She marries Shango and she marries Ogun. Why does change marry these two men? Because Shango is the courage to want and to need change and must marry change in process. And then change in process must marry Ogun, which is transformation as a result of change. It is a philosophical system that's a part of our way of life that we have to learn again. And if we use any other methodology to express ourselves, it should include at its foundation the essence of African culture.
So much for, I hope this was an enlightening discussion. We're going to talk about the year of return. Our next steps, if you want us in your city, the God Box Dialogue, you can come over there. You can visit our information. If you want to register for, if this conversation has been enlightening at all, yes, you can register as well for the pilgrimage. Thank you so much. We do have a reception with everything going on, so we can take this conversation right upstairs.
One thing about the pilgrimage, it's a spiritual pilgrimage, meaning that we're going to be visiting the different spiritual sites in Ghana. Of course, Panifest and all the reconciliation, but if you hear someone talking about a spiritual community tonight, you're going to actually visit them. So I wanted to make that clear, that it's not just a trip to shop in the market and have fun, but to really think about our spiritual diversity.
I'm leaving on Sunday. I'm going to shop in the market.
Y'all been in the market, so. And just one quick thing I want to say, I have to say this, whatever your tradition is, make sure it can answer how we got in this condition and how we're going to get out of it.
All right.